Hey you guys, it's Anunnaki Soldier right here, and I'm bringing you guys this deck layout on my plant deck. And the reason I'm doing it on my plant deck is because I dueled against one of my friends, and he really liked the way it ran against him. And I don't know. If you guys want, you guys could take pointers from this deck. I don't really mind. It's a pretty good deck. But yeah. Let's start this. I run three three Titania Princess of Camillus. She's the strongest monster in this entire deck. She's a 2800 monster, and their effect is by tributing one plant type monster, you can negate the activation of a spell, trap, or monster's effect that targets a card or cards on the field. And the good thing about her is that you could either tribute another plant type monster or herself if need be. And another good thing is that it says on the field, not on your field. So if your opponent is gonna activate a effect that targets one of his monsters, or like he wants to activate United We Stand on one of his monsters, you could just tribute a plant type monster and negate it pretty much. Then I also run three Gigaplants, 2400 monster, 1200 defense. The bad thing about Gigaplant is that he's a Gemini monster, so you have to summon him twice to get its effect. But its effect is really good. Its effect is by every turn you can special summon one plant type or one insect type monster from your hand or your graveyard. So I usually use him to either bring back another Gigaplant from my graveyard or my hand, or Titanium. You know, there's times where I get all three Titaniums on my field, and I could just special summon her pretty much. And then I run two Violet Witches. Which is destroy, you could get a level of 1500 defense monster from your deck to your hand. I usually get Gigaplant or Lone Fire Blossom, which I'll tell you about later. And I run two Lord Poisons. That's pretty much a monster reborn for this deck. When he's destroyed, you could special summon a plant type monster from your graveyard to your field. What I'm thinking of doing is removing a Violet Witch for a third Lord Poison, but I'll see. So far, the way I use them, it runs perfect. It has no problem with it. Also, I run two Natura Rose Whips. Pretty much, she's for back row control, and your opponent can activate one magic or trap card per turn. And if your opponent's deck runs on pure magic and trap cards, then it'll really slow them down. And also, it's a level 3 tuner, so yeah. And then I use one Natura Ragweed, and its effect is by, like, if your opponent draws a card or cards other than the draw phase, you could discard this card from your hand to draw two cards. So it's pretty much just for draw power. Then Natura Pineapple. It's pretty much a Treeborn Frog of the deck. I use him to tribute summon Gigaplant, and you can activate its effect when there's only plant type or beast type monsters in your graveyard and there's no spell or trap cards on your field. And let me see, I use a Lone Fire Blossom. By tributing one plant type monster or itself, you could special summon a plant type monster from your field. From your deck to your field, and I usually summon either Gigaplant to start my whole chain of swarming, or if there's a strong monster, I summon Titanium just to beat over that monster. And then Botanical Lion, it's a 1600 monster, but it becomes a 1900 beater because for every face-up plant type monster on your field, it increases its attack by 300, and if you're lucky enough to get all five monster zones with plant types, which I've done before, it goes up to 3300. And then I use Fallen Angel of Roses. This is pretty much like a Grapha for this deck. By returning one plant type monster from your field back to your hand, you can special summon her from your hand. And usually, like, I use like Natura Pineapple when the special summon from the graveyard. I return it back to my hand. I special summon her, and then I normal summon like another card. Like I'll just sack her to summon Gigaplant or whatever. And then my only non-plant type monster in this deck is Gorse, Emissary of Darkness. So he's pretty much self-explanatory. He's a 2700 beater, and you get a token as well. So let's say someone attacks you with blue eyes, 3000. You get Gore's 2700, and then a token at 3000. So you can commit suicide with the token. Um, you know, token attack blue eyes, and they commit suicide, and then you could attack with 2700 monster directly if you have the chance. And then I run negate attack. Negate the battle phase. Negate the attack and the battle phase. Magic cylinder. If you're left wide open and they have a Utopia or whatever on the field, instead of you just activate it, and when they attack you directly, and instead of you losing 2500, they lose 2500. And then wild tornado. They have like a skill drain, macrocosmos or dimensional fissure, or you could just destroy it, and the only thing is just your opponent could set a magic or trap card on the field, because macrocosmos pretty much locks down the graveyard, which you need for Gigaplant, and then skill drain locks down their effects, which you need for Titanium's effect and Gigaplant effect. So just use wild tornado. Then plant food chain. You equip it to a plant type monster, and its attack increases by 500. So like Titania goes from 2800 to 33, and then if plant food chain is destroyed while equipped to a plant type monster, you could special summon the plant type monster from your graveyard to the field, pretty much. Compulsive evacuation device. I usually use it in case someone summons a Stardust, compulse it back to the extra deck, so you won't have any problem with it. I run 2 Threatening Roars, just to stall for 2 turns, so they won't attack you. And then Ultimate Offering, I use that for Gigaplant. If you're gonna run Gigaplant, I would really say run Ultimate Offering. If you don't want to run Ultimate Offering, you could run 3 double summons, but I would say Ultimate Offering is a lot better, because then you could keep summoning, and that's the way you could storm the field, because that's the way I do it. Like I have Gigaplant on the field. I normal summon it by itself, and then I special summon another Gigaplant from my graveyard or my hand. Then I pay 100 life points to get its effect. Then I special summon another Gigaplant from my graveyard or my hand, and then I pay another 500 to get its effect, and I get a Titanium from my hand or my graveyard, and then on that one turn I summon 4 monsters, and they're pretty much the strongest monsters in the deck. So that's the way I usually use to swarm the field. I use 2 Wall of Thorns. Wall of Thorns is the mirror force of this deck, pretty much. Then 3 Polynosis. This is the solemn judgment of the deck. By triggering 1 plant type monster, you can negate the activation of a magic, trap, or normal summon or special summon of a monster, and then destroy it. So in case they're gonna XYZ summon a how do you say, Utopia or whatever, Polynosis, and it'll pretty much get destroyed. And then you could get that monster you tributed back from the grave with your Gigaplant. So win-win. Swords of Revealing Light to stall for 3 turns, because sometimes this deck, sad to say, even though it's a swarm deck, you might have some dead hands sometimes. So a swords just to stall for 3 turns. I run 2 World Trees. Pretty much for every plant type, every time a plant type monster is destroyed, the World Tree gets a flower token, and for one if you discard, if you detach 1 flower token, every face up plant type monster you have, their attack increases by 400. So Titania goes from 28 to 32. If you detach 2 flower tokens, you could destroy 1 card on the field, and if you detach 3 or whatever, you could special summon a plant type monster from your graveyard to your field. And then I run 2 Mark of the Roses. I usually and this card is you have to remove from play 1 plant type monster to take control of one of your opponent's monster every turn. And let's say you have Lord Poison on the field, and then they have a level 4. You could get his monster XYZ summon for Utopia or whatever. And usually when I remove from play a monster, I usually remove from play Low Fire Blossom or Natural Rose Whip, or my weaker monsters, and I just try to avoid using Titanium or Gale Plant. And my last 3 cards are Miracle Fertilizer. I run 3. It's another monster reborn of the deck, and once per turn you can special summon a plant type monster from your graveyard to your field. But when that monster is destroyed, so is the Miracle Fertilizer. So as you guys can see, I pretty much this plant deck is pretty much to swarm the field, and it pretty much focuses on your Titanium and your Gale Plant. So yeah, hopefully you guys like this deck profile. So please comment, rate, and subscribe, and leave me some feedback and tell me what you guys think about this deck. If you guys think I could improve it, I'll take your ideas into consideration. If you guys like the way this deck looked and the way you heard it runs, you could build it yourself, because this deck has actually gotten me out of really tight situations. Yeah, and I have, this is one out of my many decks. I have 12 decks in total that are completed, and I have 4 more in progress. So in total I have 16 decks. So I don't know if I'm gonna be doing deck profiles every week or every month, because there's people who do it every month. I guess because they have to save up money to get the rest of the cards that they need or whatever. But oh shit. Yeah. But I have 12 decks, so don't even worry about it. Maybe you guys could give me some ideas of another deck that I could build. But if you guys need any help building this deck, if you guys are planning to build it, just send me a message and I'll see if I could do anything, because I used to run 2 Lone Fire Blossoms, so I might be able to either sell you one for like $2 or whatever, or $1, because I know they're like kind of expensive, like $4 or whatever. I'll just trade it, or I'll just give it to you for free. I don't even know, but I'll try to help you guys out, So yeah, don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and oh yeah, and also if you guys are building any other deck and you guys have a Tango account or something, just send me a message and I'll show you the binder that I have. I have over 1,000 something cards in my binder, and then there's still cards that can't even fit in my binder, so I have more. So I'll show you what I have, and if you need anything, just tell me, and I'll probably just mail it to you or whatever. So yeah, like I said before, like 3 times already, don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And this is Anunnaki Soldier, and I'll see you guys later, right? So peace, man. Man.